Good morning, y'all. So I'm out here grounding my feet before the opening bell at 8:30, but it just helps me to be more steady. Like I feel more connected. I feel like I have deeper insight. Just connecting to my higher self, connecting to God. It just allows me to show up fully and present, and I feel like I do the show so much better in that state. But I wanted to share something that came to my mind this morning because I was really thinking about giving and not just giving, but leaving capacity for giving. And what do I mean by that? For me, I shared my story at InvestFest last year, but I was a single mom, a teenage mom, and I went through some hardships really early on, but I was always a giver. Even if I had $3 and you asked me for one, I was going to give you one of my dollars. And honestly, and I was like that for a long time, but I started to experience as I grew older, like this resentment in giving. And now I realize that a lot of that came because I wasn't setting up a stage where my house was not in order. I was not in order. I didn't have a setup where Stephanie was saving for that future Stephanie at 65 years old, for her dreams, for the visions that she has for herself, for her family, for her business, for her career, right? I wasn't thinking like that. I had an outward focus. What everybody else was first before me. And it was like, wow, I had to, as I got older, really, sit in that. Like, why do I put everybody else's needs before mine? Right. And so I kind of got a little bit more stingy with my resources and my time. But now that I've gotten older, one of the things that I find most joy in is in giving. And I realized, like, no, I need to leave capacity for giving. But I think that there's a way to do that where you do it in order. You're not just doing it from a place of like, I'm constantly giving and being a bad steward of what you have. But for example, if it's with your finances, you first set order in your house. Your financial house is in order. When you get paid, you first deposit to those things, whether it's your future self or retirement, whether you're investing into 529s for your kids, or you have brokerages for them, or you're putting money aside for, a future vacation, because those things matter. You living out your dreams and traveling and doing the things that matter to you, they do matter. But doing it in a responsible way is being a good steward of what has been given to you. Because a lot of people say, I want to take a vacation, and are planning on that check. They're going to take half of that check to pay for the vacation and then just be broke for the rest of the next month. And living like that causes so much stress that if instead we would learn to be good stewards, right? And manage our resources, manage our time. That way, when things do come up, like events with our friends or our family and things that we really want to be at, guess what? The time that when we were on our own and we weren't with them, we were managing that well. We were spending it with things that helped